Good evening, and welcome to my series of lectures and lessons to help broaden the horizon of people that are interested in following a traditional format of Wicca, witchcraft, and paganism. My name is Tamara von Forslun, and I have been a traditional witchcraft elder for over 50 years, teaching people all around the world. This is part one of my series for those entering the craft. And this is about preparing for your journey. It's not about just the whims and the wishes and the hopes. It's about being prepared. Properly prepared, I must always be. It is important to do as much preparation as possible before beginning any craft work. The setting, your dress, equipment, cleanliness, though less important than seriousness of intent. How to prepare the mind for its shift into a new mode of consciousness, thus setting up a room in which you are going to journey, such as a temple, a circle, a shrine, or an altar, and putting on clean clothes or a robe specifically for your ritual and for your workings. Even consecrated jewelry and gathering up your witchcraft tools are all significant. All your tools but must be consecrated. They must be pure and blessed and made holy. And so from a knife, we make it holy and bless it and consecrate it, make it anathema. And a cup, we bless and consecrate and make it a chalice. All these tools and all these stages and steps not only heighten the tool and the energies, but heighten your own awareness of everything you're about to do. The lighting of incense is another important process, since this immediately signals that you are preparing to enter a different state of being. Try to establish a regular pattern of preparation, arranging things in the same place and order each time you plan a ceremony. Although you should not become too fixed in your routine, and every now and then it is a good idea to just change this quite deliberately so that you do not become complacent and that ritual doesn't become boring. Every ritual I've ever done, I make sure is different. Every full moon has been different. Every new moon has been different. And every festival over 50 years has been different. And know that you should also prepare yourself not only in cleanliness, in mind, body, and spirit, but it is advised that you fast for at least 3 to 4 hours to prepare yourself for your first journey, drinking only pure stream water or holy water. Many of the old witches, like my Amazonian teacher Jubabi, would have fasted for several days, but this is no longer necessary nor particularly advisable. You need to be strong in body and mind to travel across the great divide betwixt the worlds. The idea of fasting is largely a symbolic one to indicate your degree of seriousness, your degree of dedication on the journey that you are taking. The same may be said of the lustral bath which should be taken before your journey. Clean, fresh water should be drawn and a few sprigs of birch bark added. Birch, according to ancient law of the sacred trees, is indicative of beginnings and cleansings. A single leaf from both the hazel and ash trees, symbolic of inspiration and clarification, may be then added. Herbs and spices, whatever is enjoyable for you. You could also add these herbs or natural essences which have a special or totemic significance for you. When you have bathed and robed yourself in your clean garments, go to your chosen shrine or temple, your magic circle, which is totally blacked out and where you will not be disturbed. Set up your magic circle and prepare your sacred space as you should do in your own way. But you will need the following items to do this. With your great journey, there are so many things that you can do. Clear the room of all your small furniture if you haven't got a special room set aside, as far as possible, and set up your magic circle, a perimeter. In the center, you can have your altar. Place a burning lamp or a candle upon it that is significant to what journey you're taking. If you have any special objects, these should be placed and assembled on or around the altar. Darken the room completely except for your altar candles and 4-quarter candles. When you are ready, lie on the floor and cover yourself completely with a blanket. Get your helper, if you have one, to weigh this down with 7 stones placed around the body. These stones signify the intent to travel, number 1, the power of the voice to give for the visions which are perceived, 2 and 3, the ability of the hands to give the gift of touch to the spirit, 4 and 5, and the ability of the feet to journey into the inner realms of Anun, the underworld, and the other world, 6 and 7. The blanket is a sign that although bound into your earthly body, your spirit is still free to travel. Now, if you have a helper, get your helper to drum quietly and steadily for a time with a 1-2 beat or a 2-2 beat. Tell them to keep this up until you give a prearranged signal to stop. It is impossible to say how long you will require the journey, but remember not to exceed your abilities or your strengths. These journeys take more energy than you may think, and there will be plenty of opportunity to travel in years to come. As you listen to the drum, begin to enter into a deep sense of peace and stillness. Connect your heart to the heart of hearts of nature, the Great Mother and the Great Father. As you listen to the drum, begin to enter into a deep sense of peace and stillness. And if you have not already decided which of the 8 paths you will choose, do so now. For whichever one you chose, you should now go forth upon it, following it with as much determination as you can muster. If need be, call your totem animal, your spirit animal, to assist you, or ask your inner witch for guidance. As you listen to the resonance and the vibrations of the drum, and you encounter anything you are uncertain of, do not hesitate to question your helpers or to make the signal to return. You should soon become aware of one of the many portals to the other world. This could be a hawthorn bush, 2 tall and imposing trees, even a stone dolmen arch, or even a symbol which has a special significance for you. Whatever form it takes, you should go forward and pass through this portal, beyond you, in the other world, and all the preconceptions they should be abandoned. Take not this world with you into that world, for they are different. For one thing you may be sure, the other world is never what you expect it to be, though it may well possess aspects which you will recognize for your study or within your magic and your dreams. Here, in this plane, in this magical realm, this sanctuary of sanctuaries, you will meet the folk of the other world, the spirits, the fae, beings who will come to you in many, many forms. They will come to you maybe as animals, birds or fish. They may even come in the shapes of the shining ones, the lordly ones, the Sid or the She, even the ancient ones, the gods and goddesses of the sacred wheel. They may even come to you as your ancestors. Some may speak to you, and you may dialogue with them. Others will simply pass by as though you were invisible. Try to remember as much as possible of what you see, and keep as still as you can beneath your blanket. The combination of immobility, darkness, and drumming sets both mind and spirit free to encounter the other world at many levels. The blanket is like being in the womb, the great womb tomb of life, and you are being reborn or reawakened into a new way of looking at things and a new world. When you are ready to return, make a previously agreed signal to your helper. If you don't have a helper, then record a tape or get a taping of a drumming. And they should then begin to drum faster and faster and louder slowly to bring you back into normal consciousness. If you are using a tape of drumming, time its length and if necessary, cop it onto a tape with a special duration. If the time that has elapsed seems short, do not worry. In your life as a witch, you will make this journey many times, and in the other world, time does not pass as it does here, for there is no time or space in the other world. Once you are recovered, make a sign to your helper to remove the blanket, and then write down all that you can remember, paying particular attention to images and symbols which may be shown to you by the lordly ones. Later on, you may want to paint some of these, either on your shield or drumhead, or even on the stones, the very stones which will become part of your collection of power objects. The importance of this visionary journey cannot be overemphasized. In many instances, it will be your first real encounter with the beings of the other world, who will become your companions and teachers in the months and years to come. It may also be their first meeting with you, and much will depend upon your courage and honesty in facing them now. If you feel that you have nothing to say to them, or are too easily overawed, you will find that they have less respect for you and will be disciplined to help or instruct you when you ask them. At the time, you should, of course, treat them with always honor, as befitting beings who live outside the realms of consciousness, in the other world of time and space. So be sure to approach the whole journey seriously and with dedication and truth, and you would any sacred action. The outcome will affect you for years to come, perhaps for the rest of your life, and is not to be undertaken lightly or without due preparation and understanding. Once you have mastered the techniques of journeying, you will want to do much more work, both to improve your witch skills and familiarize yourself with the shape of the other world. To familiarize yourself with the essence and energies and the magic and power that will be taught and awakened to you. You do not need to make up scenarios. Simply follow the directions given here and travel wherever you are taken. Alternatively, you could use this method to explore the eightfold paths described in your Book of Shadows. There are many examples of the kind of journeys you might undertake, which we will cover later on in this series. And though it does contain many of the elements we have dealt with in this study, it is not intended to be a substitute for your own journey. Some of your journeys may be into your elements of earth, air, fire, and water. They may help you to ground yourself, or to raise your creativity and lift your knowledge. They may be about compassion and caring and love. They may be about your psychic awareness. Whatever the ability is, know that it is your knowledge, your truth, that can make all these beautiful things come into reality. This is only one part of the journey of your life. One moment, 1 second, one split moment of your life. Magic can be every moment, every second of every day. And as you walk upon this journey as an earth walker, a child of the earth, looking to the stars and looking to nature, all your answers will be answered. I hope you've enjoyed this. This is the first part of a series of many to come, called The Magic of the Earth Walker. I hope you've enjoyed it. And remember, if I am indeed wise, I do not bid you enter the house of my wisdom, but rather lead you to the threshold of your own mind. Blessed be, stay safe, and go with truth.